What's up, guys? This is Blank Boy, and you suck at Vultology. This is the only show on the internet where you get to hone your Vultological prowess. For those who have not seen the show before, the way it works is each episode we take a look at a lineup of some public figures and ask you guys to do your best at typing them using nothing but Vultology. You're all welcome to post your answers in the comment section below. And after about a week, we'll reveal their types and cover any common mistypes that show up in the comments. These are just soft typings, so there's only 16 different answers. We're looking for 2 function axes and a leading energetic. This coming week, I've got some stuff going on, so Jay's going to be taking over. But let's go ahead and see how well you guys did last week. So I was actually real happy about the way you guys did. So 2 of you actually got full points. This is the first week where anyone's gotten full points. So this prize for least suck goes to 2 people, ANFN and Fun and Mark, who both got 8 out of 8 points. The prize for least suck is an icy hot watering can for your plant's pleasure. Then the prize for most suck I thought was going to Mr. Realtaria, but I just checked before filming this, and he has edited his comment, so it goes to everyone else. Everyone else got 7 out of a possible 8 points, so very close to full points, but just got one thing wrong. Different people got different things wrong. I believe for some people it was Dr. K's judgment axis. For other people, I believe it was Achebe's either perception axis or judgment axis. Anyway, the prize for least suck this week is, for most suck this week, is a jigsaw puzzle of Hieronymus Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights that, once completed, acts as a portal to the diaper realm. All right. So in order to dig into how you guys did more specifically, let's go ahead and head over to the gifts. All right. Here we are at the gifts, starting with Dr. K. First off, everyone got Dr. K's leading energetic right, that he is a JE lead. I'm kind of surprised that no one accidentally thought he was, or not accidentally, but mistakenly thought that he was a PE lead. We do get a lot of PE signaling from Dr. K. That being said, JE lead was correct, as we'll see going through these. But we'd need a rigorous report to say for sure. But I would certainly wonder if he isn't double extroverted, JEPE. But anyway, here, what are we actually seeing? Well, we get a lot of unbroken monotone articulation. I know we can't hear it in the GIF, but if we went back and watched this segment of the video, that is what we would hear. With Dr. K in particular, we have that emblematic TE voice that is a bit nasally, not trying to come out the way that he talks or his voice, but it is a bit nasally, let's be honest. Then we're getting this chaotic head shake. What do I mean by chaotic? Well, it moves over to the right there, then over to the left, and then down. Okay, over here, over there, and down. Right? If we just tracked his chin as it moved through space, we would see it leave these chaotic traces of where it's been. Over there, and down. Here's something that might surprise you. This is fluid gesturing, right? This is fluid. This is fluid. So this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of surprised that no one mistook him for a PE lead. Even as he's gesturing forward, it is fluid. So there's quite a bit of the perception axis to him to give these forward gestures so much fluidity. But what we do see if we reference his shoulders is rigid posture. Yes, the head moves and moves, but right, it always returns home. And then same with the shoulders. There's as we'll see, I think we just saw it right there. Let's do it one more time. Oh, maybe I missed it. Yeah, right at the beginning of that GIF. We do get some give in the shoulders, though, they remember to return home. So actually a bit of fluidity so far. Here we've got a little bit of his toggling. And I know with Dr. K in general, the footage, at least that I was able to grab, is not ideal in that he's in front of a bunch of screens, and I'm not sure what all is on his screen. Of course, he's got the chat pulled up on one screen. He's got the person he's talking to pulled up on another screen. I'll just mention that all these GIFs I grabbed. Sorry about their quality. Some of these with Dr. K might be pretty low quality because he is one little camera window of several, as these are while he was talking to other people, not just staring at his Twitch chat. But in any event, we have the data that we have. We work with what we've got, as not ideal as it may be. So in terms of toggling, right, is there some Twitch chat over here that he keeps looking at? I can't say. Is there some camera of the person he's talking to over here, or perhaps over here? I can't say. It's not for me to say these things. But in terms of what we do have, we've got a toggle over here. We've got a couple toggles over here, right there, 1, 2. This looks like pointed toggling so far. All right. And then with the gesturing, it's lateral here and then forward. Here, it's not fluid like it was up here. It is hitting. Right here, I know this hand's off screen, but that thumb we can actually see coming to a point and stopping right there. And then same thing, these hands, of course, yes, they're like shaking up and down or whatever, but I would say they're hitting a point, right? They just end up being right at some definite point in space, right there, right there. And I would say that this is all within rigidity, right? Even though he's gesturing way off to the right here, his shoulders aren't moving. The body is not going with it. Very, very rigid, even though, right, with these big gesticulations like this, there's certainly plenty of room for his body to get dragged with it, but it's not. Here, at least this one's a little higher quality of a GIF. We've got some lateral toggling. Yes, the hand goes off camera, so we can't see exactly what's happening, but we can get a gist. Or sorry, that lateral toggling is the eyes. This is just the lateral gesturing. But here we do see some toggling, right, off here, off there. So off to the side, and one over here. Again, this is looking pointed. This is looking, along this horizontal axis. And there is some spine movement here, right? As the arm comes up, he rebalances himself, and his shoulders move over to the side. So okay, sure. This is another piece of fluidity. Here, we can get a better look at his judgment axis, not only with toggles. We can see this sort of manic scowl and this intense perk up, right? So here it's perking up. He goes from resolve to all this energy, and yeah, this is feeling sort of intense, and this look of the scowl is looking sort of manic, right? When you say the word manic scowl, this is what we're talking about. We are getting these little head shakes in here, just a bunch of little ones, but we see a bunch of little head shakes with whichever judgment axis. But all right, we got more JE, and here, yeah, we've got a little bit of pointed toggling too, there and there, just real quick. Here, we've got a bunch of things. We've got these chaotic head shakes, and I think even a nod in there somewhere. But the head is just kind of going all over the place. It goes here, here. It's not on like any one vector this whole time. It's, oh, here, here, here. There's just a lot, especially near the end of that GIF. Yeah, with the head going, oh, and yeah, oh, yeah. Kind of a lot of chaos, kind of too much for me to go through in real time. But all right, we're also seeing some lateral gesturing. I know we can only see a part of this in the actual frame of the camera. And when I'm referring to the conductor forwardness, I'm talking about the way that his head is like leaned forward here, like literally just the forehead getting closer to the camera than the chin. He's really leaning in here, especially near the end of that GIF again. And again, with the nasally articulation that we can't hear in a GIF, but we could hear if we went back to the video. Here, we're getting more of this head shaking and pushing. Right, so starts with this head shaking and into this head push downward. And there is some disengagement right here, right there, I think 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, disengaging straight down. So this is looking like, some JI in the middle of this JE with all these head shakes and this clear articulation. Here, we've got what could look a little warm. This feels a little warmer, certainly, than the rest of the GIFs we've seen so far. Right, so this head shake is not nearly so turbulent. You could even probably say that this is, all falling on just one vector, right? The head just kind of going off to the side before pushing forward right there at the end, just a little bit of a push. So, I want to keep that in mind. These kinds of movements can certainly occur. This is within the bounds of the TEFI axis. He feels a little warm here, but right overall, what are we getting? We're getting TEFI. Here, especially, we get a bit of lip wobbling right there and right there. They're both just sort of off to the side here, there, and there. And we also get some eyes disengaging with this. So, okay, we're getting some JI in here, right? Some FI, lip wobbling, and where is it? Oh, the eyes start disengaging, my bad. All right. Here we have a little bit of locking, though it is pretty short-lived right there. And more of this forward gesturing that happens to be fluid. So this is not typical for a JE lead to have this fluid forward gesturing. But all right, this is certainly something that we see with Dr. K some, this fluid forward gesturing. And here we're also seeing the shoulders looking not super fluid, but a little bit fluid near the end here. There, we got a little bit of that fluidity. So we certainly see more fluidity with Dr. K than we do with most JE leads. But all right, this still looks, generally, he still looks still enough, right? I mean, the little amount of give here does not really resemble what we would see with PE leads. And just the amount of fluidity we see from him in general, though we do see a lot of it with specifically his forward gestures. it's certainly not what he's sustaining the most. He really does sustain that clear and very TE sounding articulation. Here, I just want to point out something that can be really tricky with him. Is, if we're just using his smile, if we were just measuring, right? Hey, does this go out more or does this go up more? I don't have a ruler. I'm not up against his face taking measurements, but I'm almost certain that this is going out more than it is going up. And so this can be very tricky. This can be very tricky. This looks zygomatic. It looks like it's getting pulled out more than up. But I want to point something out. How fast does this smile erupt across the face? Does it erupt all of a sudden, or does it kind of slowly rise? To answer that question, let's just go to the next GIF. This one's slowed down. Here we see he goes from not smiling to smiling really instantly. There's not really an in-between. I guess you could say, there when his hands were over his eyes, he's like sort of smiling a little. But right, I mean, to me, this is just, we'll see this contrasted with what we're going to see from Chinua Achebe. But despite the shape of this smile, it does just erupt across the face. It hits all at once, everywhere, just kind of instantaneously. And that's certainly something we see from our FIT smiles, our 4-point smiles. I want to point something else out that, even though this is not the highest quality GIF, I think we can sort of tell just that the top lip does curl. When he's just talking at neutral, it's at one pitch. Let's see if we can maybe look at two of these at the same time. His top lip is at one pitch while he's just talking here. And when the smile hits, it's at a different one. When the smile hits, the top lip basically becomes invisible. It curls under, and all we see is the top row of teeth. All right, so this is just, a little bit of clearing up some of the ambiguity surrounding his smile in particular. One more little piece of ambiguity is his eye toggling. Is this signal mixing? So here, the eyes, I mean, really, they go all over the place. Here, 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 and especially at the end there, right here, they kind of jump all over the place. So, it may look like, hey, there are points where it's looking like he's NESI axis. And I know no one ended up going with the NESI axis for him, especially in places like, where was it? Especially in places like this. This feels very SENI to me. The intensity of this perk up and just that manic look of the scowl. Overall, I would say that he is in the SENI. He does fall into that bucket. But here, I just want to point out how confusing it can be. I'm certainly not at liberty to say this is definitely because he's got a bunch of interesting screens in front of him and his eyes are just, pinging those. But I do wonder. I do wonder, and I do think that it's pretty likely. So all right, overall, we're seeing TEFI, we're seeing NISE. We've got a JE lead, despite, here too, we see a little bit of fluidity of the shoulders. I think this is actually not so much fluidity as it was him touching something on his desk over here and then leaning back in his chair. So, right, certainly even little things like that are certainly going to be noise, right? Anyone touching something on their desk and then leaning back in their chair is going to look more fluid. Because you're leaning back in your chair, right? But anyway, all right, cool. We're looking at a JE lead gamma with Dr. K. Moving on to Chinua Achebe. Before I say anything, I just want to note, like, yes, if we do look at static images of him, he is just a poster child for SIIs. I know, but this is not what I want to look at. Even when he was younger, he just has this hard perma-scowl, and yes, this image is taken outdoors, and maybe the sun is very bright, and so okay, he's scowling for that reason. But even here in what appears to be a photo studio, he still has just this very SI look to his eyes. I know, but this is not what we're trying to do. We're trying to go for dynamic signals, not static signals. That is certainly the preferred way to go about doing this. Whoops. That's my GIF maker. Here we go. All right. So here we've got these head shakes and some scowling. I know he does just have like a perma scowl in a lot of his videos. So here I just caught a moment where his brow is actually raised and he's not scowling. And then we can see the scowl lower down onto the eyes. We're going to see another sample of this later on, but okay, cool. This is giving us an idea of his scowls. And we're also seeing these head shakes. What do these head shakes look like compared to Dr. K's? This is feeling a lot warmer to me, but let's not just settle with one. Let's keep looking. Here we've got a brow raise right here with some head pushing and shaking, sort of pushing and shaking all in one there. Push, shake, push. And a little bit of toggling down there at the beginning, over here and back. But this as a whole, this feels very warm, both in the brow raise, this sort of slower, more what we would call measured brow raise, and in this head pushing and shaking. Push, shake, push. This is feeling much more linear to me. If we trace his chin through space, it's going all in this one direction. Here, we're getting some more eye toggling. Here, I know it's kind of hard to see because his eyes really are just looking very SI, sort of indented. But here we can see some toggling if we pay very close attention near the beginning here. Up, down, up, up. They're going up and down a little bit. Not that much, but a little. And we also get this scowl right here. And we can really see the contraction. Right, so this is looking like I'm seeing the edges of the brow participating. I'm seeing this accordion pulling. I know it's not a ton of animation, right? Like this is a pretty small amount of movement here, considering it's starting somewhat scowled already, and then just a little bit more in the middle there, right there. This is looking SINE to me. In terms of head shakes and head pushes, we're getting more of what feels warm. especially with this push right here at the end. Just very slow, very measured right there. Just a very, very small head push. Here, we've got a bit more in the way of eye toggling near the beginning here. Here, hopefully, you can really see the quality of his toggling. It just sort of feels like his eyes are lightly landing on things. Oh, here, 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 here. Up, 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 up. Real quick, real quick. And, you know, it's not like he's going, you know, back and forth. It's all sort of right around here. I know I'm like circling this and his eyes are, but hopefully you guys get what I mean. Right, his toggles are all really constrained to one area. That's sort of the narrow PI zoning. I mean, he is a pretty damn clear PI lead, and everyone did identify that correctly. We're also getting this head push right there at the end. And all these head pushes and head shakes, these are feeling very warm to me. Here, we're getting more in the way of these head pushes. And some head shakes. And you'll note that their speed is variable, right? So here, first we come out quick, and then we got some reduced speed, right? So this is the kind of swelling that we're talking about. When we say swelling, right? It's that variable speed. Let's take a look at his smile. I just want to point out how slowly it grows across his face. Here it comes, and it keeps growing. Comes, and it keeps growing. It's much slower than what we saw with Dr. K, right? It comes, and oh, it keeps getting pulled. It doesn't just all hit at one moment, right? It grows up across his face. This is looking like an FETI smile. Here, we've got some more eye toggling at the end there, after that head tilt. This is feeling like NES eye toggling. I know it's not a great deal of toggling, but this is feeling brushstroke. All right. To really isolate his judgment axis, if anyone's still in doubt, I know, right? We're not really getting any gesturing signals up here. So here I've just got a few more GIFs with some gesturing. Here we're getting this pushing forward, and let's just look at the differences in speed. Here, one speed and up, and another one, right? It's this slowing, and I just want to point out this is not halting. This is just careful delivery. And you know, if we played the video and if we heard him talking, we would be able to tell that it's not him getting tripped up by trying to pick the right word to say or something like this. This is slowing down for emphasis. Here, we're getting more of this warm forward gesturing, right? This swelling in speed, one speed, and then as we're hitting, we're at different speeds. And I just want to point out that we keep hitting all these different points in space. At the end here, there is a little bit of a head push right there, coordinated with this final hit from the hand. And one last GIF for the day. Here, we've got more forward gesturing. Now, this one, you might think of as TEFI, because it does all look like it's one speed, right? And I don't want to be too confusing, but just because we see a little bit of this, right? We still have to say, well, what are we seeing overall? Overall, are we getting this sort of gesturing that's just coming out at one constant speed, or overall, are we getting warm swells? And really, this is not what we're mostly seeing. We are mostly seeing this warm swelling. This just happens to be also within the range, right? If you can swell and slow down, okay, this is it's not to say that this is impossible, that you'll never see gesturing at a constant speed like this. All right, cool. So yes, we have this perma scowling PI lead. He is SINE. He is FETI. We're looking at a PI lead alpha. All right. Jay is going to be handling this week's You Suck at Vultology, and yeah, I think I'll be back the following week. All right. See ya.